So hello and welcome to the Computer Lab. So in today's video I'm going to show you how to replace the battery on an older style Amazon Kindle. Model number is D00901 and this particular model was released in 2010, so it is one of the earlier models. Now this particular one has been on charge for about 12 hours and as you can see, as I slide the power switch, the light's not coming on and it is not powering on. So obviously it needs a new battery. Now I have a replacement Amazon Kindle battery that's from a donor machine, which I'm just going to swap out into this Kindle here to get it running, because it is still a good little machine when they work. I like the keyboard on them and I like the touch sensitive, not the touch sensitive, sorry, the buttons on the side to flip the pages over. And if you're going to be completing this project, you're going to need a small Phillips screwdriver. This one is, I think it's, it's a 0 size, so it's one of the smallest ones, cross-headed or Phillips screwdriver. You're also going to need a pry tool. You can use these metal ones that I've got here, but they're not best in electronics, because if you catch something on the inside you can sort of rip cables and stuff, so it's only as a last resort really. I tend to use the plastic ones, which you can get off Amazon and stuff like that as well. So to get started, we're going to use the splodger tool and just work our way around the side. You can use sort of a guitar pick as well for this job, but the idea is to try and get it sort of the thin end just above where the two keys are for flipping your pages across, and it's best to start just on the side on this particular model, purely because it's quite long the side, so it's just easier to get the tool. Now if you're doing this job, I would suggest laying the Kindle down flat. I'm just holding it to the camera so you can see what is going on. But once you do make a start on it, then you should start hearing the clicks and the clips coming off. There is 16 clips in total, 4 on each side with this particular model. Incidentally, I will put links to all these tools in the description box below, and they will be Amazon affiliate links, which basically means you don't pay any more for it, but I get a small cut in the profit, which goes towards me making these videos for this channel. So hopefully you can hear over my voice the clicks as I work my way around with the pry tool, and you can hear them unclicking. Like I said, there's 4 connectors along the top, there's 4 down each side, and then 4 along the bottom, and as long as you just work your way along, don't push the pry tool in too much, and then it should hear it click as you work along. And I will hold this up when I get it sort of totally off, but like I say, if you're doing it flat, it's a lot easier. You see there the 4 clips that hold it on. It is really easy to get into this compared to some electronics, so obviously don't be scared of just putting the pry tool in. Don't push it in too far because you don't want to touch anything that's you shouldn't be touching and ripping your way across. Your just aim is just to get a couple of mil into the connector and it should just release the clips. Where the switches are, you don't have to run along there. Just hold it open like so. Past the switches. Just going to hold it open a little bit. Like I said, it is easier once it's flat. Work my way along the bottom, just flip it over a bit. Let's just go down this side. Once it does start to go, it tends to just go all of a sudden. But again, just work my way along this other edge here to release these 4 clips, and I might just put it flat just because it'll be slightly easier to get my pry tool in this back edge here, like so. And once we get this one off, just check the other side, make sure the other side is released. Just got my fingers just underneath there, just make sure this one's released, and then I should just be able to just pop the pry tool just along this bottom edge here just to get these other 4 clips off like so. And there we have it. That's the back cover off your Amazon Kindle. Okay, so now we can get to the battery. So before we do that, I'll just show you the clips just in case you're wondering where these are. So you've got the 4 along the top there, 1, 2, 3 and 4 along the top edge. You've got another 4 along the side here, so you've got 2 at the top and then 2 at the bottom, and there's obviously a gap where your buttons are. Opposite side, 2 there, 2 there, and the bottom edge you've got 2 that sit around the charging cable ports and then 2 on the outer edge as well. So overall 16 clips holding the back cover on your Amazon Kindle. So let's get that to one side, and now we can finally get to the battery, and it's a relatively straightforward process this. Like I said, I'm using a 0 gauge cross-headed screwdriver or Phillips headed screwdriver, so as long as you've got sort of a watchmaker's set, screwdriver set or something like that, then you'll have a small enough driver to get these 2 screws out. So I'll just hold it to the other camera so you get a better view of these 2 screws. It's these 2 that we're removing now with the screwdriver. There's only 2 that hold the battery on, so we'll get our screwdriver, if we can get it on. So not only have 2 hands, one stabilising the screwdriver, but yeah, take these 2 smaller screws out of the battery. I'm using a magnetized screwdriver, so it's obviously helps. You don't necessarily need that, but the thing is with this, just underneath the battery, which you'll see now, I'll just, when it comes out, you lift it out sort of an angle because there's two tabs that hold it on. So just put your finger on your pry tool underneath and lift it out like so. These two tabs right at the top locate just like so in there. So when we're putting one back in, that's how the angle we'll have to put it back in at. But what I was going to say, don't tip it upside down or sideways when you're taking it off, because there is two small aluminium clips that I'll just try and show, and I'll try and pop one off in a second. But there's two loose clips that sit on these screws here, and these just separate the battery, just space it off the terminals for when you put your new battery in. So if you've got it upside down, these can drop off and you'll be wondering where they've come from. We'll just get my over tool, I'll just put it underneath so you can see, and just dislodge one slightly, if we can get it without touching electronics, like so. So you can see that that little cover plate, little aluminium cover plate, sits on top of the screw connector, and it's just like a spacing washer that keeps the connectors at the right size. So I'll pop it back on like so, and then we should be good to get our new battery on. So like I said, this is a donor battery, but again, I'll put the link, affiliate link, in the description box below. But this is one that's come out of an old Kindle, had the screen cracked on it. So two tabs, and they sit just slightly off being flush. If you just lift it slightly, two tabs, push in, just lift it up slightly like so, it pops in and then drops onto your terminals, your battery terminals. Again, like I said, I'm using a magnetized screwdriver, so just get it on like so, pop one in, and then screw these two back in. They don't have to be tight, so just finger tight really, just nip it up slightly, get my other screw and pop that one in like so again. Now as soon as you do this, if the battery is charged, it will start to boot the Kindle. So obviously get the back cover on straight away, don't go touching anything, because you've now got power, hopefully got power on your Kindle. And then it just clicks in, so you line it up so it's square to the actual main body, and then hopefully you should be able to hear the clicks again if the camera's picking it up. And you just work your way around. I sort of push up sort of as I'm going along, push up and in, if that makes sense, and then just firm push, clicks in. There is one on this particular Kindle where the charging ports are that sometimes can be a bit problematic, where the two clips sit either side of the charging port. So work your way around. So just this one here can sometimes be a bit tricky. So sometimes it's worth, if you do struggle with this, is to put this end in first. If you can get your pry tool in, you can just sometimes just pop it in. You see it's starting to boot up already, and it is now booted up. And we're clicked in, so I'll switch it on. We've got the green light now, which is great, and that you can see the top book that was last being read on this Kindle. So if I just push the button, we should be able to get to it. But anyway, that is it. That's our new battery in, and our Kindle has now been refurbished and is working. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it's been helpful, please do subscribe to my channel. That's how my channel survives. Please do hit the thumbs up, and please do hit me with any comments below. They are always appreciated. And thanks for visiting the Computer Lab.